Well, hello everybody out there in YouTube land. Tim time, and I'm Tim, and it's time to watch something. So I picked up something new that I couldn't pass up. I don't know, I swore I wouldn't get more and more junk when I moved here, but couldn't pass this up, and you might find this kind of interesting. So instead of staring at my ugly face, let's look at it. Let me see if I can shed a little more light on it. You can kind of pull it over this way a little bit. It is a Philco Model 20, and if it is in nice shape as it looks, if this is original and not redone, that was fantastic. See, I'm missing one knob and one washer escutcheon from a screw there. But everything else is really nice. All the veneer, all the way around seems to be here. I don't feel any spots where it felt like they glued anything. Now to look at the back side. Got a little light there. It looks pretty original to me. But what my goal is for today is we'll take it out of the case and get a look at the underneath. Maybe make up a parts list. Decide a plan of action here. A little bit of rust on it, not that much. A lot of that looks like I could take that right off by hand. Haven't touched anything at all in there. I just got it. I just literally brought it down here. Of course, we'll certainly change the plug. A couple of things. I see a transformer in there, so I know this isn't one of those radios that could possibly have the hot case. I mean, it still could, depending on how things are wired inside, but generally it goes through a transformer. That also probably tells me that each of the tubes has its own filament winding in parallel, not in series. So that's another good thing, maybe, I guess. I don't know a lot about this. I looked it up, and the 20, this is the Philco Model 20. This was not a super heterodon receiver, which means no typical local oscillator and all that stuff like we used to have in 455 megahertz or kilohertz and all that. So I've never messed with one of these, so I know that they say that the more desirable one is a super het, but to tell you the truth, it's an AM radio, and I mean, how much do they really get used? It's not like this is going to be the main set at the house or anything. I don't even know when the last time I turned a radio on, other than amateur radio, but NCB, I gotta admit. So that'll be kind of fun to see something new, how that goes. I expect the typical things here, like probably the power supply capacitors, and with the age of this, 1930s. This model started to be put out in 1930, and I think they went with a redesigned front end in 1931. And when I say front end, I mean front end of the wood grain, not the radio front end. It had a fluted front end or something, so I know this is the older model. But what I want to do is take it out and see what we're up against. So give me a few minutes. This uses basically a transformer from the coil, I believe, is part of the power supply filtering. So let's see. I don't even know what I'd need to take this apart. I'll lay it back on this. And we'll spin it around. Find out the ways. By the way, you see how big this thing is. Look at it next to my head, and I have a pretty huge head. But this, didn't they call this the miniature radio? So I don't know how big things were back in 1931 that this was miniature. So spin it around here. If you can see with me, I see 1, 2, 3 pretty large bolts. These feet right here, you see they were silver and had some kind of an insert in them. I don't know if that's factory or somebody put that on additionally. You see a nail coming through the case right here. So it looks like I'll be able to stand it back up and probably pull those out. I don't want to pull them out, obviously, in this position. These things will break. Let's see, probably around a 7/16 or even a 1/2 inch. No, it's a 3/8 probably one. Actually, 3/8 even feels a little bit big. You know, it's probably not metric. See if I can get them all started like this, and then we'll stand it up. Yeah, I'm really impressed with what the case looks like. Yeah, they seem to turn out pretty easy. So now I'll stand it up and hang it over the edge. Well, this one got hard all of a sudden. I don't know if it's coming. I don't know if it was one of those things where you only turned it so much of a turn and. One. Two. Yeah, the fellow I bought it off of said he had never even plugged it in. He said he wanted to redo it. He bought it because he liked the shape of the case, which is about the same thing I did. I don't know if I guess we should take these knobs off. Make sure they don't have screws or anything. We think I want to do this. They're really tight up against the cabinet. Let me see if I get the other screw. Maybe I can push it a little bit tighter against the cabinet so we get my grubby mitts behind it. Oh, anyhow, so he said he never did anything with it at all as far as electrically, so I don't even know if he took it apart. For all I know, this could be a set of bricks in here, or it could be completely redone. I don't know. I wasn't going to put power to it until I at least looked inside it. Another washer and bolts, so none of the washers or anything were missing. Let me see what I can dig up around here that's nice and soft. I will be back. Alright, this one I was able to get out, actually just put a piece of cardboard behind it and kept working. This one pulled off. Nice, it's a plastic knob. It's not, I don't think it's Bakelite, it feels plastic. Not cracked or anything. I don't know if this one's going to come off quite as easy. Good. Oh, I got it off. Now I got to find it. Alright, so it looks like underneath all this crud from the fingers there, there's actually a screw here. Why didn't that one have a screw? Too bad I couldn't have researched a little bit further. Okay. Got that off. That. I must have poked somewhere because I got blood on me. Let's move all this crap out of the way. Move all those out. Now what should happen to move everything out over here. This guy's out of the way. See through there. Alright, there we go. A little bit on the heavy side. Alright, so this can go outside and get blown off later. Let's get it out of the way so it won't damage anything. Alright. The great unveiling. Do we think it's ever been apart underneath or not? I'm going to stand up. Oh, I need to look on this. Model 20, this shield must be in place. These connectors must be made or receiver will not operate. Let's see, what shield must be in place? Oh, this. Okay. I'm going to stand it up. Put this like this so we can see. Here it goes. Alright, it has probably never been screwed with. Messed with, what you want to call it. Check that down here, a little micro switch. Tells if the tube's in. This is pretty incredible. These guys here would be the big power supply cap. Look at the size of that thing. Here's the transformer. And that's what I'm hoping isn't fried. Alright, so we're going to try firing this thing up through a variac with limiting the current. The current will be limited by these light bulbs, and they're incandescent. Let me tell you, it's a little bit hard finding incandescent light bulbs anymore these days. But what will happen is, if there's a short circuit, those things will light up like they're the only thing in the outlet. If there's not a short circuit, they'll start out bright, but then they'll start to dim out. I'll bring the voltage up slow. We'll be watching over here. You can watch with me while I turn some of the lights off. We can see if we see anything happen on this. Maybe if I lift you up a little bit. One. This is always a kiss of death. Because when I have it real high, it's when I always trip over it, knock it over, and break the camera again. Alright, yeah, you can see down into it. Let me get this out of our way. I have the light off for a reason, because if things do light up, you'll be able to see them. Hopefully not like firelight up. Alright, so I'll plug this end, just goes in this end here from my Variac and limiter. This just goes in a regular AC outlet. Turn that off, turn that off. I have it so that it is limiting it, which means these light bulbs are in series with this. So if you were to take these light bulbs out, nothing would happen. Okay, ready? Fire that on. I have this here. This gives me a little bit of a readout. And find out there's a short. Okay, so now we should power it up. So now we may see something. I see the light coming on. You can see there a little bit. Still, these are very dim. Turn the volume all the way up. That light's still on. These bulbs are very dim. Still very dim. So what it's telling me, it's not drawing a lot of current, which is good, because if it was a short, it would be drawing a lot. That bulb's getting brighter. These are not getting any brighter. These tubes are still dirty. I can see the tubes lighting up back in there. See, that one's lit up now. Alright, I would assume those are the amplifiers. I don't hear anything coming out of the speaker. They're not even, doesn't even look like they're lighting up. So let's turn it off. Well, at least we know that some things are working. Alrighty, I'm going to unplug this again. Out of our way. Let's unplug this. Let's just look underneath at those tubes just to see if we see anything in the obvious. Alright, let's take a look. I think we're going to have to break down and get a schematic. And what's this? It's probably just a choke, maybe for the power supply. I don't know. Power cord runs right up to it. It's a pretty ugly setup right in here. Yeah, we're gonna have to look at that transformer and make sure that it's good, but we definitely have some movement in the right direction. So I'll check some tubes. That'll be my next step. And gee whiz. I'm gonna start cleaning stuff up. Looks like something dripped on here, some water or something, not oil like a cap or anything like that. It's funny because it looks like all the capacitors are right there on that thing right there is all the capacitors. Don't know what this is. Let's see. I have no idea. Be kind of interesting to get to find out what's what on this. But that's all I have for now. I'll start cleaning things up and keep you posted on my progress. So we'll call this Philco Model 20 Video 1. And I'm not reaching my hands way in there. It might look like it on camera, but just I'm assuming that cap got charged. And before I go and put a lot of time into recapping and everything and checking all the resistors, I want to check that power or the transformer and make sure that it's not fried or anything and that we're getting the high voltage to the tubes. But I need a schematic so I know what I'm doing. Okay, thanks for watching, and maybe we can get another one of these up soon. Take care.